Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're talking about shoulder pain, specifically rotator cuff issues.
Yeah, something a lot of people unfortunately deal with.
Definitely. So if that sounds familiar, you're definitely in the right place. We've been looking at advice from physical therapist Dr. Dwayne Chioda.
He's got some really practical stuff.
Right. And we've kind of distilled it down into 4 key exercises, things aimed at strengthening, improving mobility, and just, helping you feel a bit more in control of your shoulder health.
Which is so important. Shoulder pain can really limit what you do day to day.
Totally. So our mission here is pretty straightforward. Break down 4 exercises from Dr. Chioda that you can understand.
And maybe even try out, but obviously with caution.
Exactly. Always check with your own doctor or physical therapist once. That's super important.
Absolutely. What's great about these is they focus on building strength, but also respecting, where your shoulder's currently at.
Okay, let's dive into the first one then. It's called the scaption raise.
Right. Scaption.
Dr. Chioda highlights that this strengthens the shoulder in a safe range. Why is that specific range so beneficial?
Well, scaption. It's that angle that's kind of halfway between raising your arms straight forward and directly out to the side, maybe 30, 45 degrees.
Okay.
And lifting in that plane often avoids pinching or compressing some of those sensitive bits inside the shoulder joint.
Makes sense. So it's less likely to aggravate things.
Exactly. While still getting at key muscles like the supraspinatus, one of the main rotator cuff muscles.
Got it. So how do we actually do it?
Okay, so you'll want some light dumbbells, probably pretty light to start.
Right.
Hold one in each hand, palms facing your body or slightly inward. Then you raise your arms up diagonally, kind of like making a wide V shape.
To about shoulder height.
Yeah, about shoulder height. Not straight ahead, not right out to the sides, but in that diagonal scaption plane.
And then lower back down slowly.
Yes. That slow, controlled, lowering the eccentric part is really, really important. It builds control, builds strength in those stabilizing muscles.
Okay, and how many? Dr. Chioda suggests, 10 to 15 reps?
Yeah, 10 to 15 is a good target. Focus on the quality of the movement, not just banging out reps.
Good advice. Okay, exercise number 2. External rotation isometric. Sounds a bit more technical.
It sounds it, but it's actually pretty straightforward. This one's about building strength and stability without a lot of joint movement.
How does it work, an isometric contraction?
Exactly. You're creating force, tensing the muscle, but the joint angle doesn't change. So you stand next to a wall or maybe a door frame.
Okay.
Bend your elbow to 90 degrees, keeping it tucked close to your side. The back of your hand or wrist area is against the wall.
Right.
Then you gently try to push your hand outward as if you were rotating your shoulder out, but the wall stops you.
So no actual movement happens.
Correct. You just feel those muscles on the back of your shoulder working. Those are your external rotators, like the infraspinatus and teres minor.
Yeah.
Super important for stability.
And you hold that push.
Yeah, hold the contraction for about 5, maybe 10 seconds. Then relax.
And Dr. Chioda recommends 3 to 5 times on each side.
It's a really focused way to wake up those stabilizers, especially useful if movement is painful or restricted.
Makes sense. Okay, moving on to number 3. Wall angels. This sounds a bit gentler.
It can be, but it's also surprisingly challenging to do correctly. Dr. Chioda points out it's great for improving mobility and stability.
Plus posture. That's a bonus.
Definitely. They really help open up the chest, get some movement in the upper back, the thoracic spine, which all ties into how well your shoulder works.
So how is it done? Stand with your back against a wall.
Yep. Feet slightly away from the wall. Try to keep your lower back, upper back, and head touching the wall if possible. Then bring your arms up, elbows bent at 90 degrees, like a goalpost position.
Okay, like arms up, elbows bent.
Right. And the backs of your arms, wrists, maybe even hands are touching the wall too.
That sounds like the hard part.
It often is. Then you slowly slide your arms up the wall, trying to keep everything in contact.
Like making a snow angel, but just the arm part.
Exactly, and then slide them back down. The goal is slow and controlled, maybe 10 reps.
And keeping contact is key.
Absolutely. It really highlights where you might be tight, maybe in your shoulders or your upper back, and encourages better movement patterns.
Interesting. Okay, final one, number 4, controlled front raise.
Right. This one might look familiar, but the emphasis, like the name says, is on control.
Dr. Chioda says it helps bring control and stability back to the shoulder.
Yeah, you're strengthening the front of the shoulder, the anterior deltoid, and other muscles, but doing it slowly and deliberately helps reinforce good mechanics, avoiding any jerky or compensatory movements.
So like dumbbell again, one hand.
Yep. One hand at a time usually work best for focus. Keep your arm relatively straight, maybe a tiny bend in the elbow.
Okay.
Then lift the dumbbell straight out in front of you up to about shoulder height.
And then lower slowly. Sensing a theme here.
Haha, yeah. That slow, controlled lowering is crucial again. Fight gravity on the way down.
Got it. 10 to 15 reps per arm.
Sounds about right. Again, lightweight, perfect form is the goal.
Okay, those are 4 really practical exercises. But now for that really important reminder.
Yes, absolutely critical. Dr. Keough stresses this, and so do we.
Please, please talk to your own physical therapist or doctor before you try any of these.
They need to make sure these specific exercises are actually safe and appropriate for your shoulder, your specific issue, your stage of recovery.
Self-diagnosing or just jumping into exercises can sometimes make things worse, right?
It definitely can. Personalized advice is key.
Okay, so let's quickly recap. We've got the scaption raise for strengthening in that safe zone.
The external rotation isometric for building stability without big movements.
Wall angels for working on mobility and posture too.
And the controlled front raise for regaining that smooth command over movement.
4 tools, really, based on Dr. Keough's expertise.
And they hit different aspects. Strength, stability, mobility, all pretty vital for shoulder health, whether you're recovering or trying to prevent issues. So here's something to think about. How might consistently doing even just one of these exercises, once you've got the green light from a pro, how might that shift things for you? Your comfort, your ability to use your shoulder?
Yeah, what's one small, informed step you could explore towards feeling better and moving better?
Don't forget to subscribe for more rehab tips and exercises. Valley Rehab, Physical Therapy and Return to Work Center.